Welcome to the study session of the Aspen Peaks Board of Education. Today is Thursday, May 14th, 2026, and the time is 4:02 p.m. We are meeting at the Alpine School District offices, and all board members are present except Steve Sparty. And before we get started, we need to wish a happy birthday to Amber Bonner. It's her very birthday day. And next week is Nikki Brammer's birthday, so we're having a little bit of a celebration. All right, for our first item on the agenda, we will be privileged to hear from Sam Renter and Valen Thomas, and they are going to be talking to us about coaching and content area specialists. We appreciate them presenting to us. Thank you.
Welcome. Well, we appreciate you letting us come. We both are really passionate about coaching and content specialists, so we have lots to say about it. For those of you that don't know Valen, you probably all do, or hopefully do. He's our Ed Services Director. He's fabulous. If you have questions along the way, you can ask at any time. We'll stop and address whatever you've got. Valen, you want to start us off?
We thought we'd just kind of give a general, maybe 40,000 foot view of really, we're not here to convince you about why coaching or why content specialists, because Joel, and he's talked about it plenty, you guys hear about it a lot. But what we're really here to talk about is the key they play in implementation of curriculum and support to teachers. It's critical. So that's what we put, the key to implementation. And as you look at this, and we shared this with them.
You've all got it.
All got a copy of it. So in the slide, what we are suggesting here is that this is how they strengthen that implementation piece. That they high impact on instructional practices through PLC work, ensure consistency of what we're teaching and how it's being taught, ongoing job embedded support for our teachers, and that is a critical piece if we're talking about professional learning, which is different than professional development. Professional development happens to you. Professional learning is something that is ongoing, job embedded, part of what you do every day versus the one and done. And that's key to what our content area specialists and coaches provide. And then the last three here, four, they support our professional learning into daily practice. So that's that job embedded in the classroom. They improve collaboration around instructional strategies during and working with the PLC process. They build sustainable instructional capacity. And then last, increase teacher confidence and reflection responsive to student needs. So it really does get down to that grassroots level at the classroom level. And that is the overview, again, the 40,000 foot view of our content area specialists and coaches.
So there are a bunch of different kinds of coaching, but all of them have the same target. It's division for learning. No matter what their specific job responsibilities are, their primary target is to ensure that all kids learn at high levels, that all kids get the essential knowledge, skills, and dispositions they need to be successful now and in their future lives. Like that is the target of all of our coaches. And we do that primarily through the PLC process because there is a preponderance of evidence that is the process that we know work. And we also look at the 7 tight essentials. Those are the things that we use primarily with our coaches to get at teams because we know that's what will help our students to learn at high levels. So you can see that front page. The back page also shows at least 4 of the different types of coaches that we have. There's a 5th one we're going to talk about today also. Maybe for a moment, think about this, see if you can come up with the right answers. Who owns these responsibilities? Who owns the responsibility to enact the PLC cycle, to ensure the tide of a PLC, to establish the expectation of a PLC practice, to lead the collaborative team, or to coach the PLC cycle? Do you have like a good, clear answer in your mind for each of those? Okay, let's go through them. So the first one, those who are responsible to enact the PLC process is the collaborative team. They are the ones primarily responsible for that. Who is responsible for ensuring the tide of a PLC? That would be the school leadership team. They are responsible to ensure the tight. Who's responsible for establishing the expectation of a PLC practice? Well, that would be the district leadership team first, to the supervisors, to the principal. So if you had a team who was like, yeah, we're not going to do that, well, it would be the principal's job to go in and say, hey, we believe in all kids learning at high levels, and this is how we do it. This is who we are. Therefore, you can't opt out of best practice. Or if you had a whole school that was like, yeah, we're not doing that, well, then it would be the supervisor's job to say, hey, we believe in all kids. That includes the ones at your school. Who leads the collaborative team? It's not the PLC coach. It's not the principal. That is our CTLs, the collaborative team leaders. Who coaches the PLC cycle? That is our coaches. The reason I went through this slide is because that who coaches the PLC team is so important. Because if you have a team who's like, well, we need more information on just how do we do this correctly? How do we move from PLC light to PLC right? Well, that's the coach's job. If you have a team that's like, well, we need to know who we can go learn from. Like there's this standard we're not quite getting to. That's the coach's job. They're the ones who know what other teams are getting success. If we have a CTL who's like, I'm not sure how to lead this, well, that's the coach's job to help train them so that they can be effective. The coach makes all the rest of these work. The coach really is the key. It's the linchpin of the PLC process working effectively. You have this page, and it really just kind of shows what is the difference, what are some of those prime differences between these four types of coaches: our elementary PLC coaches, our secondary PLC coaches, our innovative learning coaches, and our secondary instructional coaches. It also has just a little bit of what they're not, like they're not administrators, they're coaches, and so on. We're going to go through a few of these really quick. Important to note that our coaches really implement systematic change, and we really they are the team that really helps our teacher teams to be effective. Let's start with the PLC coaches. This is a great definition. If you want a definition of what they do, the primary responsibility of the PLC coach is to ensure high levels of learning for all students by coaching collaborative teacher teams and implementing the 7 tight essentials and supporting individual teachers in the use of best instructional practices. That end part is what should be the second essential question in the 4 that's kind of left out. It's what is best practice? How do we get at best instructional practices? That is also part of coaches. Any questions right now? I know I'm talking fast. I'm going to on purpose so we can get through a lot. Because again, we're passionate about these things. Instead of me just telling you about it though, here's a short video that kind of what does a PLC coach do?
Coaches play a vital role in every school system. At the heart of our work is one shared mission: ensuring high levels of learning for all students. We do this by engaging deeply in school systems, collaborating with teacher teams, leadership teams, administrators, and both new and veteran teachers. Inside the PLC results cycle, coaches guide teams through effective goal setting, strong Tier 1 instruction, data collection and review, assessments, and targeted interventions. Coaches also lead teachers through individualized coaching cycles focused on classroom management, best instructional practices, and student engagement. For new teachers, coaches provide essential partnerships and mentorships. We connect them with the school and district vision, ensuring they feel supported, confident, and successful. Because when teachers thrive, students thrive. PLC coaches also partner with principals and leadership teams to align instruction and priorities across the school. We unify goals across teams, ensuring everyone is moving together toward the same vision. Coaches stand side by side with teachers, offering hands-on support that strengthen daily classroom practices.
As a career teacher of 25 years, I've seen a lot of positive things happen in education with adding additional support staff. Having coaching support can make teachers feel a lot less isolated and helps build a stronger, more connected school community. Coaches give teachers support that's personalized to what we need right in our own classrooms.
Our PLC coaches are super crucial to drive student learning. When they partner with us as administrators, when they partner with teachers, when they even get the chance to work with students themselves, what they do is they bring the best practices, instructional practices, into the classroom by partnering with those teachers.
PLC coaches partner with district personnel, administrators, and teachers to ensure high levels of learning for all students. Our mission is to support and build teacher knowledge and practices to increase student.
It's hard to pack in what does everything a PLC coach does in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but we did our best with that video. Innovative learning coaches.
So this is our second group in support of the classroom, and you were just thinking I have control and Sam has control of that.
Oh boy.
Which is kind of atypical of our relationship. Sam's in control. Our mission basically with our ILCs. At first I think people didn't understand what's the difference between these two. Well, the big difference is they help us take the technology practice to integrate it into the classroom as a part of what we do, and helping teachers be more efficient and learning how to collect data and interpret data. It also, again, helping students use the devices in proper and effective manner. So you see how they kind of put that bridge between the magic, technical magic versus the classroom magic. That really is what they do on top of working with a PLC coach. And our PLC coaches currently in Alpine are spread between 2 to 3 schools, just depending on, ILCs, thank you, are spread between 2 to 3 schools. And so again, we try to encapsulate what they do in a short video as well. So in our elementaries, you see this is 1 coach at 3 schools. Secondary, it's 2 coaches at schools. 1 coach at 2 schools.
Is that done based on number of staff, or is it just done on per school?
How many per school?
Yeah.
It's based on really the funding on it, because we didn't have enough to fund it for every school to have their own dedicated
Right,
ILC.
but so does every school get one, or is it a...
Every school has one, yes. Yeah.
But is it a one per, or
Like
is it
you
a...
decide which
like if
schools
I
get
have
grouped
50
together.
teachers and I have 30, I get one and a little bit, and I get... Do you know what I mean?
Right now they all
No,
have
they all-
one.
It's
So
per
whether
school.
you're
Okay.
Aspen with a few kids or Dry Creek with 1,000, right now
Yeah.
they all have one.
Okay.
Because I know the one at Dry Creek's also at Traverse and Belmont. So they kind of
For the
are-
ILCs,
I-
yeah.
And we try to keep them generally close in terms of where they are so they can.
Yeah, I will also say though that, like where we're a small school at Mountain Ridge, they tried to pair us with a larger school, so they do
So
try
they do
to
try to even it
navigate
out.
that to try and even it out, so a small school with a large school, but they also try and stay within the geographical
And
area.
PLC, there's one for every school, no matter the
One
size.
for every
Yes,
school,
one for
no
every
matter the
school.
size.
Good question.
When you reach for your computer, then I'll hit mine.
Yeah, I think that might be the better choice. What I'm going to do is just do this.
Start off my day at Bonneville Elementary. I catch up with my amazing PLC coach, and we update each other on the collaborations we attended. I have emails to answer, and then I do some final edits on the Gizmos lesson I'm teaching today in 4th grade on census. Then I head to 4th grade and teach my lesson. The students are very engaged and love getting to run different trials on the Gizmo. Then it's off to my second school, Parkside Elementary. Today I get to observe a teacher who is getting her Learning Power Classroom certification. She crushed it, and now she gets an LPC jacket. I then head to collaborate with the 3rd grade team during their 2 separate prep times. We meet every Thursday to plan out math instruction for the following week, discuss common misconceptions the students may have, decide on our exit tickets, and update the iReady slides with vocabulary and sentence frames to help scaffold the material. After a quick lunch, I had to meet with one of the kindergarten teachers. We are presenting at an upcoming PD about math, so we go over the iReady prerequisite reports and how they can support teachers in providing interventions. Then it's back to my office to answer more emails. I had a few assessments and trackers to fix and update in Master Connect. I then spent some time filling out spreadsheets with beginning of the year iReady math and reading data for teachers to use to help set their team priority goals at an upcoming PD. After that, I had to collaborate with the 1st grade team where we were looking at choral counting. After 1st grade, I meet with the 4th grade team where we were discussing the MathRise benchmark they took last week. And that's a wrap for today. Thanks for joining.
I'm stressed out for.
I love the video because it's how does a teacher deal with 3 schools, and it's like I'm with this team, then I'm with this team, now I'm with this school, and now I'm with this team, and now I'm with this teacher, and that is their life, I think.
But what's critical to know, again, the difference between the two is that the ILCs really provide that. You heard her talking about data. You heard her talking about helping with creating assessments. You heard her talking about helping prepare for a lesson. So it's not like they just live individually in silos. They do, the PLC and ILCs very much go together. A third coaching group, which is newer to our coaching complement here in Alpine, is our multi-language learner student group coaching that we have in a lot of our schools that have high ML populations. And they got a little vision and mission statement, but really I'm going to kind of point us toward the values of what this is, kind of what they do. We're going to unpack those in just a little second here, but the values of they collaborate, they data informed decisions, they high quality instruction, and the family and community engagement. In our ML schools, that's a critical piece those coaches play, and helping connect the community to the resources that school has, not only academically but otherwise. And also it helps the teachers connect and understand what they can offer their students that way. So it's not just only academics, and our ML coaches are really informed about very specific high impact technical pedagogy techniques, which translate not just to the ML population, they're good for all kids, not just that population. So they really do, again, complement our schools with the higher populations of MLs. If you want to go to that next one. This kind of lays it out for you, kind of more of what they can and what they do. They are involved in planning, they're involved in data, they're involved in professional development, they're involved in the collaboration piece. Anya Becerra, who's our director who works with them, this is how the magic is beginning to move in our schools, where we have these high populations, where the academic progress is starting to increase. It's because we've got this targeted group of coaching going along with PLC coaching and ILC coaching. So it's one layer deeper for those schools, and not, I mean, again, it's not every school has one, but we certainly are trying to teach those techniques with our content specialists that work with our MLs as well, with other schools who don't have an ML coach at their building. So super effective part of what we've done in the last 3 years to see that growth with our MLs. I can't remember the statistic right now, but their work and their efforts are kind of a spotlight right now, because we've walked a lot of kids off of those being listed as MLs. They're able to take that WIDA test that they give each year, and those students have exited having the language competencies that they need. And a lot of that's because of the targeted help of our ML coaches. Jason.
How many current ML coaches do we have?
Oh.
And where are they are they more or less congregated in certain areas?
I wish I had the number.
We have one in the current Aspen Peak schools.
Yeah. They're
Next
mostly,
year there'll be 2, I believe, right?
yeah, and they've
Greenwood
tried to
and-
split them up based on where we're going with this. But the majority of them are in our Title I schools that have a lot of ML high populations, and that's not, I'm making kind of a blanket statement there. They are in a lot of the schools that have that, mostly south, some out west, like Joel mentioned, just one here in
Where is it
Aspen
at?
Peak.
Is it Greenwood?
No, it's not Greenwood. It's at
Forbes.
Forbes.
But
Yeah.
I think Greenwood is getting one next year, right?
I think so.
believe so.
I believe so.
We do find that some of the other schools need those coaches just as much or more, even though
Ours
they
has
have
our point.
they have a smaller number sometimes, but they also sometimes, the schools that have such a huge number often know how to work with those kids, and so we have some of these schools with a smaller number need the help more. Sorry, you had a.
Yeah, this might be too in the weeds, but underneath the data column in that third box, there's some platforms that are giving data that I'm not familiar with, and I was wondering if you could help me understand. Like, we know
Oh,
it's
the elevation.
Elevation, data gateway, and unified insights.
Okay, Data Gateway is just the state's data collection on all things that they assess throughout the state. So every student's
How's that one?
that, yeah, and that we pull from that for a lot of the things we
If you're
report
looking
back.
at test scores, like
Yeah,
for
test
all
scores,
schools,
yeah.
that's what it's called.
Yeah,
the
that's
Data
the
Gateway.
Utah Data Gateway.
Sounds like another good study session for
Yeah.
Data Gateway.
It does. And you can drill down and have it just pull out your ML group instead of just here's say it's Mountain Ridge. That it's not just the whole student body pulled out, and it has ways you can do that and manipulate the data to do it. Then Elevation is a program that we have bought to help as we look at what students' deficits may be or what helps they may need. It's a little assessment that provides, okay, here's where they're at with this particular part of their English language learning, and it then also provides tools. Here's some suggestions on ways you can attack this or this based on whatever it is that you're looking at.
It's also connected, it gives resources based on their WIDA level.
Yeah, on the
based on
WIDA,
their,
thank you.
Their scores for the current year.
It also gives sometimes like lessons and other activities.
Yeah, it has lessons, activities, all that kind of tied to it. It's pretty.
So that sounds like that's one that the teacher specifically would probably be using, maybe more than like the Data Gateway or something. They might use that too,
Exactly. But the coaches help interpret some of that data
Awesome.
gateway material for teachers in schools. But the Elevation is probably more grassroots at the level of the classroom.
Or the task force level, right?
Or
a
the
lot of our
task
schools
force.
that don't have an ML coach have a
Yeah,
task
task
force.
force. Yeah,
And they'll
exactly.
utilize that.
So we as teachers had to choose activities from Elevation that we were going to target for each of our ML students, so it gives you ideas.
Yeah, it's not like you have to. It's a complement of tools. Yeah.
Felt like you have to.
Well, I mean, we all have to make sure they're educated, right? But there are some good instructional things there.
And are these
so.
ML coaches primarily elementary, or, I mean, I know
No,
they
we
can
have
go
we
wherever
have
they're
some
needed,
we
but
have
where do
some
they
in our
primarily
secondary
spend
schools.
their time? Okay.
Mountain View in specific is one that comes to mind in secondary.
Are there ML coaches for languages other than Spanish?
ML coaches
And
are
is it specific to
multi-language
language?
learner
They're
is
multi-language?
all,
Okay.
not just Spanish. So it's meant to help
Yeah,
all that.
It would be language neutral in
Yeah,
terms
very
of
much.
strategies.
But like Elevation, does it have stuff for all different languages? For teachers?
It's
or
about
does it
language
have-
acquisition, not versus.
Not
versus-
which language.
Not which language.
Okay, that makes sense.
Other questions there? Did that answer that?
Yeah, thank you.
You are welcome.
That wraps up the coaching. We want to talk about TSAs unless you have questions
Can I
about
talk,
coaching.
yeah, can I ask a question about it?
Of course.
So when did we start using coaches?
Let's see.
When did they start?
In several years.
Yeah.
Was it PLCs that were initially brought in?
We had coaches. I'm going back to when I was principal. I have to do the math backwards from district office to principal. So I'm going to say about 12 years ago. Does that sound
That's
right?
great.
They were
started
shared
out
a whole
And
bunch
they
of
were
schools.
shared.
It
Out with
wasn't
like
PLC.
one
Like
for
I was
every
I was at
five
Saratoga
schools
Shores
and one
as
for-
principal, and myself, and then Brady was over at Sage, and Jason was at Thunder, and we had one person for the three largest elementaries
And what
in
did
the
we
Alpine
call
School
them?
District at that point in
They
time.
weren't PLC.
It's called coaches.
They were just coaches.
Coaches, and then they were literacy coaches.
Then they were literacy.
Instructional
yeah.
coaches, I mean.
And
My
that-
next question is, I was leading up to like, so why did you decide to start having ML coaches? Like how was that brought in?
Anya Becerra and her team did some research and worked with, in specific, Luis Cruz, works with Solution Tree around task forces. You heard Joel mention that a little bit. And one of the effective effect size helps in helping MLs is that kind of one-on-one coaching that happens at a team level in a school that has that population. And so that's where kind of the inception of it started. And you know, if we're being honest about all the coaching, everyone deserves a coach.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves a coach. And those who are working with our population that's learning a language on top of their own language, that's an extra special area of support. And Anya and her team have done an incredible job training these coaches to go out and be this and then her TSAs, which we're walking into that here just a little bit, to help train and support schools with that extra ounce of support.
Well, I'm asking this because I'm leading into how easy/hard is it to start a new group? Like, I know 2 of my schools, they're hit hard right now with behavior problems. How could we do a behavior coaching team or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
how could something like that come about? What is it? I just know
Joel's
that
face.
I've had teachers the last few days be like, we need help with behaviors. We need, like, it is so hard. It is, like, they are just, that is the #1 thing they're talking to me about. So,
We're working to build those right now.
okay.
That's part of our plan.
It kind of comes under the PLC coach probably currently.
A little bit.
As a mentor.
You know, Kim Jones and her team down in Student Services have worked with John Hannigan, who's an expert in behavior solutions that ties to our PLC process. And they've had teams at the high school and elementary. I think we've hit almost all the secondary that we will this year coming up. Most of our elementaries, not all, have gone through this process of learning how to set up systems within their building, because it's more than just what you're doing in your classroom, it's a whole school thing.
100%. Yeah.
And that's part of where we kind of sometimes don't have the right tools in our toolbox. Because we think, oh, I gotta put the Band-Aid here, I gotta put the Band-Aid here, I gotta put the Band-Aid here. But back to task forces, that's part of one of those things that could be. I'll give it, for instance, Sky Ridge High School. I know that John Walworth has a task force that is specifically honed into that behavior piece. But that behavior piece is tied into good principles, tied to PLC process or the behavior solution kind of concepts. But it really does start with the bigger vision of everything we talk about, you know, I'll just throw out the last mascot. I was the principal school, we were the Sharks. Nice. At Saratoga Shores, and not the Carps, which we could have been because we were right by the lake. But no, we were the Sharks. But we have the Shark Way, or you know, whatever it is, or the Night Way, or the whatever your mascot is. But people don't know what that is. But if it's embedded in every part of your culture, from what Joel does in his classroom and what Valen does in his classroom, to what we do when we deal with an issue, and we are really trying to move towards more of that. What's the word I'm looking for? The PBIS is that kind of the behavior that helps teaching kids behavior that replaces a behavior. But you got to be intentional. Taking them down to the principal's office and giving them a lecture about why you should not throw a roll at somebody in the lunchroom is probably not going to be super effective.
And then giving them a candy.
And then giving them a candy.
Back to us. Yes.
Yeah, it takes some maneuvering, but we've had a lot of great traction. I think we're in year, remind me, Sam, 3 of the behavior solution, working with a team and a task force at the schools, and some of our harder schools are really starting to see some things happen. It's not the magic,
yeah.
but it has to be integrated into everything we do.
My background is behavior, so I understand the consistency but I don't, like, it has to be a whole school, like, has to be around it and the consistency.
Exactly. Everyone owns it, not just...
Our PLC coaches are expert teachers, and so they are great at coaching behaviors, but they're mostly tier 1 type behaviors. How do you set up routines, expectations, that type of thing? When we're talking about some of these extreme behaviors, we need coaches with more specialized behavior knowledge.
And that's why I just thought about this, like, could this be something that we could implement, something that we could think about?
So then I'm just curious about, what is the training you do for these, the PLC coaches and the innovative learning coaches? What sort of stuff gets them ready for positions and continuing to... Yeah,
we talked about at the beginning. We pull them out once a month for monthly training. So all the secondaries will do a training, which I've been most involved with for the last few years. Sam has been involved, and this year it's been Carrie Milner, who works with our team that works with PLC. But we're training them up on the 7 tights, which the collaborative process, the whole PLC results. So that how they're framing their work is based in the PLC work. We're also giving them tools to help support our literacy rollout that we've had in our K-6 schools this last couple of years. They help at that level where teachers, and they've been in the trainings with our content area specialists over here, and pointing across to my department over there, and working with them. So we're bringing in the experts to work with them, so they have boots on the ground knowledge and expertise to take in, but consistent training, not just hey, we're going to hose you down with some stuff here at the beginning of the year and hope that it sticks. It is ongoing for this.
Are they getting training from Dufour?
Yeah, we bring Dufour
and some of those other coaches.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You recall the partnership also does what's it called, the Instructional Coaches Academy.
Yeah. And that is another thing. When we onboard our new coaches, they go through an Alpine New Coaching Academy along with what Joel's referring to here with the BYU partnership.
Can I just bring up the end of the row, since that's where I spent my life, was in the classroom. There are amazing things that are presented up here, but they don't always get to the end of the row where it needs to be to the classroom. For instance, one time I asked, my coach gave me some cool information from a literacy training she had, and my question to her was, why did I need to ask for this? This is awesome stuff. I just need it to come down. I need it to keep coming down. I think we've got these wonderful things in place, but it's not consistently communicated down where it needs to go. And so as valuable as this is, I'm just advocating for us to figure out how to just keep working to get that water all the way to the end of the road.
I think we 100% agree. There are tricky balances of what are the spaces for that, and when can they get to teachers. We don't want to pull teachers out of the classroom too much. Even with the coaches, we want to pull them more to give them more training, but then they're not in the schools where they're with teachers. So where's the balance? But I totally agree. If we aren't getting the water to the end of the row, then we're not being effective.
Well, and it's a trust issue with teachers and coaches. I mean, it's a lot of personality things going on, but we can have the greatest stuff up here. So we just got to concentrate on getting it all the way down. I don't know. That's not a criticism. It's just a fact, and I don't know how to fix it.
Reality. Well,
It's
new
a good thing to
district,
work
we
on.
can.
It is a good thought.
Yeah.
So I have another question right here. So for the PLC coaches, talks about how they're doing stuff with assessment. Does that mean they're giving the assessments like the Acadians and some of those other things, or is that other individuals that they're just supporting?
They kind of help oversee that at the school, so they're the ones who would create the schedule of which classes are coming down at what time. They normally help that day, as they're the ones who help line up the kids. Okay, go to that tester and
Or get the PTA volunteers to
and
do
get
it.
the PTA to do it. And so they aren't the ones. There's a tester team in Alpine that gives the Acadians, but they organize it at the school.
Do they do anything with like the RISE? Are they often like the RISE proctors or anything like that?
No,
Not really. All right, let me talk TSAs for a minute. So these are our content area specialists. They do a ton of stuff. We know there's way more words on these slides than is.
we're going to give you a very
good.
highlighted version.
Yeah,
in
just
this next little
highlighted.
bit.
We put that many on there because we knew we were sharing this with you if you were wanting to dig in deeper. Maybe the only one I want to highlight on this page is that top left, the expertise. These content area specialists are absolute experts in their areas. So they're experts in literacy and math and science and so on. We have districts from all across the state contact us. Some of the districts that people would consider are the best in the state, the Wasatch and Washington and Nebo and so on, they contact us and say, hey, can you help us with science, because you guys are doing it right, or boy, we saw your data, what is it that you're doing? Hey, we saw that you just did this great rollout with. Well, that all stems back to our TSAs. Without their expertise, there's no way that we could pull off these amazing things. So they are absolute experts in their areas. Let me talk about a couple of them. So this is the elementary literacy team. If you even just look at that top left box, some of the professional development that they do would be curriculum training. So that would be like the 5 days this year where we pulled out elementary teachers to be trained on what's best practice, what's our new literacy standards, what are the new materials, what's the right pedagogy for that, and how do we use the new materials to get at that. I think it was the best rollout training we've ever done instead of here's the new book, good luck with that. The new teacher academy was very successful. Coaching academy, full day kindergarten training. Our kindergarten data is probably the most impressive data we've had. Without the kindergarten training, that wouldn't have happened. The professional learning hour, this standards committee, when you have new standards, then you pull in teachers. You say, which standards should be on the report card? Which standards should be essential standards? Well, we use teachers, of course, to answer those, but it's our content experts, our TSAs, who lead those teacher committees. The letters, summer professional learning, our reading interventionists, we have these expert reading interventionists, but how did they become experts? Our TSAs are the ones who trained them. The point is, they do a lot of really great training because they know their stuff. That next one, the provisions, these are some of those hidden things that teachers don't know about. But our TSAs are the ones who provision the curriculum. So on the first day of school, when a teacher opens up their wonders, it works because our TSAs provisioned it to work. They also provision every student one. If you don't do that, the students can't access it either. Those are just some of the hidden things that our TSAs do. That is our literacy, and I could spend an hour at least on what the literacy team is doing.
Can I add a little more to that?
Please.
Just back to our very beginning slide of the implementation piece. We can train all we want, but if we don't get it down to the classroom level, with the implementation, which is with the coaches and our content specialist people help us try to do, it won't stick. And I think our literacy rollout has been, I've been at this 33 years. This is the best thing I have ever seen happen. And it's because it's all around this professional learning model, using these awesome teachers, specialists, as well as our coaches, as the implementation piece to that learning that they've gotten this summer. Because it's an ongoing job embedded. It's not like we're going to hose you down, which was what I got when I became a teacher. Not super effective, but we're telling you what's coming up this next semester or this next month, and the training that they're particularly ever doing with the literacy. But that is our content specialists, who they have the time to do it. It just takes the load off our teachers so that they can focus on the pedagogy that are in the room versus trying, I got to create all this stuff. Well, that's what these folks are here to do in that implementation part of the thing.
So kudos to your professional learning, your hours, what did you call that, where we would do that once or twice a month for an hour.
Yeah, when we were coming out of the pandemic.
That was spectacular because you took these people who were experts, and you're online, yes, but you're doing it for an hour, but it's something you can implement immediately. It was cool.
Awesome. We received really great feedback from those. The math team, also fantastic. They've been in every school. They have worked with leadership teams. They've looked at data, and then they go out to principals and say, hey, we've seen that you have certain teams that could really use our help, and so they target instruction. A really good example of what our math team does is there are new math standards coming down from the state, and so they will be putting together a math leadership team of teachers from every school. Will have some teachers on that, and then they as the experts will learn the standards, they'll learn the new pedagogy, they'll make sure we have materials that match it, and then they are the ones who will train our teachers make sure they know what's going on with the new standards. Then they'll have those teachers teach to those standards, so that when we come to the next training of our teachers, it will be that leadership team who will do the training. So they can say, we're in the classroom just like you. We've been teaching these. Here's what you need to know. But the people who bring those teachers up to speed to be experts are our TSAs. They're the ones who lead those teams. So that's something we'll be doing this coming year with math. Our science team, I forgot the book. Doggone. Our science team is amazing. They are doing what I just explained, but they are doing it for this summer's training right now. So we have a big science leadership team. They've been training them, bringing them up to speed. They wrote an entire curriculum because we've never had a science curriculum. And so they created the impossible. So this summer, this science leadership team with their support will be training our teachers. Here's the SEED standards, here's how you teach them, here's the new pedagogy, here's the materials, here's how you use them. And then
How
they
big
do.
are these teams? Sorry,
What's that?
Sam. How big are these teams?
There
You're talking about
are.
teams, I'm a visual person, so.
There are about 4 teachers per grade level, so it's pretty big.
So
So
it's
about
large.
28,
Okay.
28 teachers.
That's awesome.
We need enough to cover all the training, and so, yeah, 28 teachers. There are a bunch of other types of coaches. I'm not going to go over them. You can read about these if you want, like fine arts, computer science, PE, and so on. The point is we have TSAs that are over these different areas who are experts who help lead our teacher teams and get us to where we need to be.
Sam, all these people, are they typically housed here in PBC?
Some are out in schools, school
Yeah.
buildings, just depending. Science team is at a building.
Is at a building, but literacy and math are here. The BTS coaches are
At a building.
at a building. So yeah, it depends.
So in Alpine currently, how many TSAs are there?
Well, if you want to flip to this next slide, and then maybe we'll get to that, answer that question, because this is our secondary content specialist. So we do have one content specialist for every academic area. That was not the case when I took over this job 7 years ago. We were very purposeful in trying to build that capacity because they are helping lead the learning and creating those leadership teams to help do that at the school level. So in secondary, we have 7, 8, 9 of them, no, 10 of them. And then elementary, we have basically, we started, now that we're kind of slimming down and getting ready for the reconfiguration, we've gone from 7 on our literacy team, and that's getting smaller. Than we had 7 on our math team, and remind me on the science.
There were 4, now there's 3.
So we're up 20, 30 or so.
And the
content
7
specialists.
was, so like with our literacy training, there is a TSA for each grade level. So when kindergarten comes, there's always the same specialist that's over kindergarten and so on.
So just really what Sam has already shared, I just want to share on the part of secondary. This is kind of, again, the 40,000-foot view of what they do, because I could take and have you unpack what each of the content areas is working on and what they're engaged with. But this really is the overall about providing learning, teaching, about teacher clarity, around standards, and about pedagogy. And again, the content area coaches that they have, because we also have content area coaches, they work with the content area specialists who provide the training. Content area coaches are working one-on-one in classrooms. So if it's math 7, or if it's US history class, or whatever it is, we have some coaches that work with those content area specialists to divide and conquer and to provide that individual support. But again, you see all the things there that they're doing, much in the same light that the content area people are doing in elementary. But again, their expertise, what they are doing for teachers, when we went from just Mari Braithwaite being the only person for all content areas to having one for each, it changed the playing field. And I don't Carrie, I know from your perspective as a principal, it's a big deal. And they do the annual trainings for these folks each year. We have a content area day coming up in May. It's in that, those are super important places, and then we build again the ongoing job embedded stuff throughout the year where they're meeting with teams and the coaching one-on-one, so that we are getting that implementation of the training down. So it's the same model, K-12, we're more focused content area, obviously specific because we have content people, but in elementary they're kind of, we've got a team to help with the different, because as you know, elementary they teach all things. So I don't think we've probably got one more there. And this is just our literacy team. I think there's some things there to highlight that might tie back to our elementary literacy rollout. And that's been a big focus for us, because some people think, well, why isn't that the English language arts teacher's responsibility in secondary schools? No, learning literacy is all students need to learn literacy in their content areas. So it's been Lehigh High and Lehigh Junior, Mountain Ridge has done some things that have begun to implement literacy in a different light in all content areas. And Jamie Sadler-Hawley has been our lead on that in the last few years. But again, this is what they do. And we're like leaving a lot out here because we could go on for days, months, and years on this. But it should give you a good overview of the whole.
So what questions do you have about TSAs or anything?
I guess my only question, sorry, I have a lot of questions. I guess my only question is, you mentioned how it's getting smaller already because of the split. So what is a good number for us? For us, with our size, like, have you looked at numbers? Have you looked at what we want it to be successful? Obviously, we want enough people to be there to collaborate and to work together, but we can't be as big of a team as.
From secondary, in the playbooks that we put together, and I know those are like reading the encyclopedia because there's a lot of information there. But the suggestion we made after looking at multiple districts across the state and country about to do these different things like we do, similar to what we do. For secondary, at least for the start, we need at least the core content areas. So math, language arts, in specific, and science. And then we would suggest a fourth, which is our health and PE. And why health and PE? Health PE is very tied to state statute. Our current Alpine board just received a whole report on stuff from pornography to sexual abuse to all those things, and that is what our health PE teacher and our specialist, she actually helps us do. So that's become a critical piece. Then building out from there, as the district expands or grows, or you see that was our recommendation there in terms of elementary, very similar of again, math, science, English in specific, and then maybe a fourth person for arts, some of the arts, PE, all the specialty we would call it, to oversee those, because those are content and those do need supervision and those do need some guidance from time to time. That's the basic, and then growing it from there, knowing that all three districts are going to have to look at that in a different kind of way.
I think we're going to have to lean a little heavier on classroom teachers, but if we could have a lead content, specialist, again, the literacy, math, science, who can lead those teams and build their capacity so that they can do the trainings, then I think we can still be super successful.
It's a great question.
I have a question. Sam was at a meeting and Joel was privy to this too. For example, Wasatch School District, they don't have content specialists. How are they doing these things? How have they figured it out?
They are one of those districts that call me and say, hey, can you help us? Because we don't have anybody.
That's how they figured it out?
Really what they do is
more than you know.
Yeah, it's a lot. But they use teacher teams. They look at what teams are getting success in these areas. Let's go learn from them. Yeah. I also totally agree with that philosophy. they're also really small. You know, you have 6 elementary schools. We're going to have 24. If we could have, a content leader to help lead those, because our teams will have to be larger. We're way bigger than up in Heber. But that same philosophy is let's learn from teams. Let's go see who's doing it right and learn from them. I think we could do that.
Thanks for sharing that, because when I was at that meeting, I was thinking, how did they go? I mean, just the coordination of all the new programs that have to be trained on, the new things that are coming down, the new whatever. I mean, there needs to be some systemness there. And I kind of sat there when they were talking about it, and Wasatch was talking about it. I'm like, I don't know.
Part of their system is, when you have a school of 6, I mean, there's 6 elementaries, it's just easier to be a system.
Yeah.
And then I lost what else I was going to say.
Okay. And then they call us, apparently.
And they call us.
Okay.
How does like Nebo or Canyons, who are a little bit more similar to our size, or even Washington, structure this? Do you know?
They have more TSAs than we just recommended, and they still have the coaching systems in order that we've recommended too. So that having like one lead TSA over literacy, math, science, and elementary, that would be slimmer than most of our nearby districts are.
I love how we've moved away from the summer collaboration where you get hosed down and kind of shamed for whatever. I love how we've moved to making it personal and making it work in a classroom, making whatever we do, we have to keep that piece of it because that empowers teachers, that empowers people. And being smaller, let's learn from each other. I like taking some of the successful teams, although I have to be careful on that too. I mean,
there's a balance.
There is a balance there.
But teachers like learning from teachers, and I think we can use that model and be effective.
I was talking to Brady about this, but I was really impressed at Timberline where they have half FTEs, like their PLC coaches who teach. Yeah, they have 2, so they each were half FTE, but they teach half, and then they're in the class. Their coaches half time, and I think that's cool. I mean, I'm trying to think of a way that could work in the elementary.
Keeps them very authentic. Makes it easier
Very
to listen
authentic,
to them
that's
when
the
they say
perfect
we've
word.
done that. Our science training this year will be like that because these our TSAs helped. I mean, they built the curriculum, but then they shared it with our teachers. Said, here it is. Now use it this year. So when they train the teachers, it will be, I'm in the classroom in your same grade. I just taught this year. Here's how it went. That is the best way to do it, I think.
And that's how we've done it in secondary. Most of our secondary content specialists are not full-time. They are half day, one A day and B day with us. So they have what we call street creds with the people because they've been out.
Street cred that way, yeah.
And that's been effective.
But you know what? Teachers aren't that mean. It's not that you have to have your street cred, but you just want it to feel authentic and you want it to be doable and you want it to be empowering. Everybody wants to be better.
And you get back to that idea of the professional learning model versus professional development model. There's an article that we'll shoot to Joel, talks about professional development versus professional learning, and it really is what we're talking about here. Flipping that switch to go from being hosed down and good luck to you have a partner in the implementation in your classroom and as a team with either a coach, PLC, ILC, ML coach, and our content area people and content area coaches. That's the implementation piece. That's where it happens, where you're not having to be alone as the teacher having to figure out what this new core is or figure out what the best materials are or figure out this or figure out that. So you can use your skills to do what you do in the magic in your classroom. That you've got a team to help you implement. And when implementation happens, that's where the learning sticks for teachers. and
This
for
is
students.
kind of exciting because we're being forced to downsize our team and use it in a way that makes sense, but I think some really cool things can happen.
I firmly believe it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you both.
Bet.
Yeah, I think
Clapping
it's good.
You just lead out, we'll follow.
Okay, it's a good thing.
I start seeing
Okay, wow, that was really helpful. Thank you for sharing how it's working, how it's set up, and some ideas for moving forward. We appreciate that. The next portion of the study session is going to be a discussion of mission and vision, and it's been a pleasure to visit schools and hear feedback from patrons and employees as we're trying to consider our mission and vision for Aspen Peaks. Joel, can I turn some time over to you for that?
Absolutely. Happy to do it. Again, I want to say how much I appreciate these fine gentlemen putting that together for us and sharing. We are a far cry from when I was handed the keys and the textbook to my classroom 27 years ago, and they said, go for it. It really is about providing the supports that make a difference in the classroom. And part of, as we continue our process, I just want to say this and then we'll move into the other portion. As we continue our process in building, hiring and building the structures and the supports, it's very important to us to hear from our folks that are in their classrooms and that are in those schools, knowing what are the supports that have been most helpful to them. And so we're working on some ways that we can gather that feedback and use that as we continue to build. So I just wanted you to be aware of those things. A lot of great stuff has been happening here in this area for sure. Okay, as I thought today about the great work that we had, it was probably a couple months ago now. Jason, Board Member Thieler, did a great introduction and really got us starting down that pathway. And then what's been important for me and for us is to have some of the conversations with individuals and get out into those schools and have folks come and provide some feedback and some thoughts. And that's going to continue. There'll be other opportunities which we'll talk about, ways that we can continue to hear the voices of our community and our staff and all of our patrons about how we can continue to improve it as we move forward. But I wanted to take a little bit of time today. I recently was up at Primary Children's, and I took a picture of something that really just resonates with me, and I love how and some of you I'm sure have had experience at Primary Children's as well. I hope you haven't, but I'm sure many of you have. And Primary Children's has a very clear focus. And I just wanted to share that with everybody right now. Here's the picture taken on my phone. I just lost my picture. Here's the picture that I took on my phone. Can everybody see that? It stood out to me, and it always just resonates. And I love this, and there's their focus, their mission that is the child first and always. And it's just so clean, and it's so crisp, and it's just so, this is what it is. And so I love that, and that's really got me thinking about words. And here we have 5 words that are very powerful in communicating what this organization is about. So if you'll bear with me a little bit, I'm going to ask for some participation and some maybe in a little bit of a strange way. I'm going to ask Cammie if she'll go up to the first whiteboard on the left. And the reason I choose Cammie is, for those of you that don't know, is
Handwriting.
Cammie has amazing handwriting on her work. Okay. And this is what I'm going to give everybody right now. What I want you to take before we start writing some stuff on the board. I want everybody to take 2 minutes. And this is what I just want you to write. I want you to write down single word, so one word. But you can write lots of one words, but just one word. Does that make everybody with me?
Yep. On a phrase.
Not a phrase. We're singing single words. And this is what I want you to brainstorm by yourself first, then we'll start putting them on the board. What is one thing, a feeling, an action, or a result that we feel super strongly about that this must happen for every student in Aspen Peaks every single day? So one thing that must happen for every student in Aspen Peaks every single day. And I just want you to write those down. Brainstorm for a couple minutes. Okay. Now, Cammie, let's go up to the board. This is, and we're not playing by Boggle rules, so if someone says it, don't cross it off. This is what we want you to do. If you say, if someone puts a word up there, like for example, let's start with one. I want to start with joy. So if anybody else wrote down joy, what I want you to do is just raise your hand. And then we can put a little star or whatever so we can kind of keep track as we go. Is that okay? Perfect. Who wants to get the ball rolling? And we can just move as fast as Cammie can write.
Connect.
Connect. How many had connect? Let's see that. 1, 2.
I had connections.
6, 7, 8. And that's all. And it doesn't matter if it's a verb or a noun or whatever. If it's tied, that's great. Okay, great. Let's start with another one.
Growth.
Oh.
It's a growth.
I didn't buy that.
Me and Amber said it.
Okay, so we are at 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shoot. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Engaged.
That's it. 7.
Positive.
Ooh. Good one.
I didn't write it, but I like it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's room for liking in just a minute
I
as
just
well.
put happy.
So do you want happy up here separately?
I think happy, positive, joy are all very
Yeah, me
connected.
too.
So
I think we don't put joy.
I think we're okay. We can leave it like that. We're good. Okay, others.
Howard.
Oh, sorry.
It's
I
Howard.
put in Howard.
Ooh, I like that.
Empowered. Yes.
That's a good one.
Got 3.
I feel if this is different than growth to achieve.
Looks like there were 3 on the chief.
I smell something wrong, Tommy.
Included.
Ooh, great one.
I belong.
We have
Yeah.
we have 4 on that one. Okay. Say again.
Safety.
Yeah, I just say.
3 on that one too. Thank you.
Sharing. magic. I could go with something else, but that's just the little piece
Scene?
that's there.
Scene?
Scene.
Unlimited.
I have build.
Say again?
Build.
Build. Very good. That's 3. Okay.
I
Hey.
have improvement.
Improvement. Okay. Good.
About caring, what word does that fit
I had caring as well.
I had love, so I
Yeah,
think
okay.
that there's
And
3.
And I put wanted for.
Okay.
Needed?
Needed,
Not
wanted.
Needed, wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And I put parents, but I don't know, somehow we have to include them.
Partnership.
Partners.
Partnership, okay, that's great, nice.
I like that. And I know it's a little bit awkward because I didn't tell you what specific type of word to use, but I think we're doing great.
I
Okay.
have energy and stretch.
Ooh.
Very good.
Sure.
I ran out of time, but I would have put wonder.
We'll let you add it.
Curiosity,
That's
wonder.
great.
That
I love that.
Curiosity.
Okay, that's
I also have reward.
Sorry, what was it?
Reward.
Reward. Okay, because I'm writing on the board, I can't spell curiosity.
good. I know, I was thinking about that. C-U-R-I-O-U-S.
I-O.
Just US.
No.
Curious is good.
Okay, I can do
You
curious.
got it.
Curiosity and.
It's good.
ITY. Well, you're good. Okay. Any others that we want to add and put on the board right now?
Learning.
Hey.
Well, now, I did have that.
Let's not get crazy now.
There's 6 on that one.
Just point out the mountain in front of us.
It just wasn't as fancy, I think, so people were.
Too plain.
I have contributor.
I like that.
That's kind of what I meant with sharing, like you're willing to like
Yeah.
share your ideas and, but that's a better word.
Excellent. Any others to add to the list? Okay, now, as we look at this, are there any words that anyone around this table or in the peanut gallery would like
No pressure, Doug.
would like to find? Is there anything that you say, I really want to know what they meant by that word? Is there anything that stands out to you that says, Like, I'd love to hear Diane's definition for magic.
It's a undefinable piece that is either there or it's not. Like for me, I would prepare, and then you just start and the magic happens. I don't know how to define it.
That's
It's
okay.
pretty cool.
What does magic look like at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday with kindergarten kids?
What does it look like?
Yeah, how would you describe it? Like, if magic's happening at 2, what is that?
We're probably sitting at the rug and we're talking and we're having a discussion, and I'm watching him sit up, I'm watching him say things, I'm watching him feel vulnerable but empowered to share, to be part of it, it's kind of intangible, but it's magic.
Seems like the engaged, but with a little bit,
Participating.
a little bit more.
But adding wonder and
Yeah,
Right.
wonder
desire
was such a
to
good word.
participate.
If you didn't make it be wonders.
Engaged is the core, but there's these other things that make it more than just engaged.
Yeah, it's just more, it's just the next level.
I think light is probably part of that too, isn't it? Like lights going on and seeing the lights clicking with them.
I like that. Some discovery, right? Okay. Anything else we want described? We want to hear from the authors what they meant by when they said that.
Energy.
Yeah, that's great.
So when I thought of energy, I thought of a couple different levels. Kids generally come with so much energy, but when learning begins, it kind of stimulates energy and enthusiasm and it's the momentum towards an end. From the teacher side of things, when the teacher starts to see the feedback and their students are learning, and that fills them with energy. And so, when we focus on energy, it enables us to kind of improve the learning and the teaching and the overall school culture.
Okay. Good definition. Anything else anybody sees? Okay, so what I want you to do next is look at that list, and then I want you to create a second list now, and you can use 3 words. And you can take anything that's up there, but combine 3 words into what does that mean? No haiku. That's Jason, that's 3rd step. Don't blow up. Okay.
Great, now you've wrecked his whole presentation.
No, you're great. But I want you to take 3 words. Take the ones that mean the most to you, that resonate the most of what you want to see. You can use up to 3 words now, and you can do 3 3-word groups. Yeah, 3 combinations. And you don't have to use those exact words, like taking the 3 words from that list. You can take one of those, but use 3 to explain. Does that make sense? Like creating the magic, or feeling the magic, or you see what I'm saying here? Or all students engaged, or something. 3 words, 3-word phrase. What of that resonates the most?
Not 4.
3 only.
Use a hyphen, D.
Okay, okay.
That's what my parents did.
Okay.
I love it.
Hope my mom's watching.
Can you make more than one version of a 3?
Yes.
Three word things?
That's what I know.
Oh,
I'm gonna make more, it's just, top 3.
Just write it down because it will get stuck in your head and you won't be able to go forward.
I just do word poetry, the title around.
Well-placed commas are very helpful right now. Okay, I know you may not be done, and that's okay. The goal is not to have this is an exercise, right, to help us be thinking. Cammie, if you'll go back up, if that would be okay. What has to happen every day in schools? 3-word phrases. Anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first.
Please.
I got 2, I came up with 2. So one is, and they're similar, I guess, connect, engage, achieve. And it'll be kind of hyphens or commas or whatever. And then the second one.
A hyphen in there.
I got a hyphen in learning.
Not a hyphen, but like, connect, engage, achieve.
Oh, yes, between, to show that they work together.
Right.
Then it's one word.
And then the second one.
He has 2 more words
The
to
second
go.
one I kind of like because it kind of fits with maybe Aspen Peaks, but it's connect, create, and climb.
I like it too.
With the lines, with the dashes.
Yeah. Or doesn't matter. It's not a phrase. It's a. I don't know.
It's his type of.
It's okay.
The 3 C's. The new 3 C's.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else?
So I've got sparking curious learning.
Sorry.
You're great. Your writing is so much nicer than mine, so thank you. And then I have stretching wondrous minds. And I don't know if I'm allowed to add a preposition, but my last one is partners in energetic growth.
That was
I think we'll allow it. That's it. We'll allow
So apparently you can't.
Sorry, you got shot down.
it. That's okay. We're good.
It's like the junior high,
I
like
like
growth
it.
spurt, that's like that.
Okay, I'll go with mine. Empowering growth through connection. So you could have a hyphen.
You drew an arrow.
You could have a hyphen between empowering and growth, or it could be empowering growth through connection.
Thank you, B.
Mine sounds like Christmas, but wonder and joy. Christmas is good. Christmas good, but then on B's, I had empowered to grow. I don't know, or empowered to learn.
I put empowered by learning.
Now that-
Ooh.
I had
Did you
empowered to learn
say?
too, but empowered by learning. I like that.
Empowered by
learning.
learning.
Oh, I
I'll put a little stamp on it.
Yeah.
I like
We have to
that.
put learning in it, I mean,
Yeah.
Brady,
Yes,
told us
exactly.
we have to learn in school.
Okay, anybody else?
I wrote building the magic. Yeah.
Where
Nice.
magic happens, and
And I wrote one more. Connecting and contributing.
Connected and contributing.
It started with empowered learning growth, but that's actually different than learning and growth. I like it the second way better.
If we do the little and sign.
Yeah, I'll do that,
Yeah.
do that ampersand and then it's only 3 words.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Leering.
That's
We're gonna skip
Yeah, let's not do that one.
all the rage these days.
Okay. Thank you.
Finding the joy.
Just taking a picture of it.
We'll capture that.
I have continuously growing as well.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I'm going to add one, but this is creative spelling to make it be 3. I made the rules and I still
He told me no.
I'm sorry, B. I just was stretching you. I was just stretching you.
He's not the boss of you and do what you want.
I put all students every day.
How are you creatively spelling that?
Every day, one word.
Okay.
It's like everywhere.
Everywhere, every day.
Do you want 2 words or 1?
That needs to be 2.
Just spell it the right way. I'm good.
Otherwise, that's something else.
We told you no to 4 words.
I just said that's why I went last. I didn't want to be a hypocrite till the end.
Somebody else will break the rule before you do.
I would have different things if we put 4 words.
And that's all right. And so the point of the exercise today, we've got lots to continue. I just wanted to get some of the ideas that we've been hearing and thinking and dialoguing starting to flow a little bit through our minds as we move forward. There's more work to do here. If you want some fun, I'd give you the bumper sticker assignment. So spend some time thinking about if you had one bumper sticker that you would put on your car for Aspen Peaks, what would it say?
What about
And
every student every day? That's only 3 words instead of all.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
every.
That's
Just trying
true.
to help
I appreciate that.
No, you said it twice. You said it twice. Anyway, sorry.
I appreciate everybody trying to make me not breaking the rules. Love for we'll capture this. We'll come back to this, but it's kind of fun to sit and think. Okay, bumper sticker with our logo on the back of your car. What words would you put with it? What would you want it to say?
I like the connected ones since we talked about the connection of the roots, but I also like the growth ones with our little leaf logo. I like that too. I don't know.
It's a
Because
fun way
if
to
I'm doing a bumper
process.
sticker, it has to look aesthetically pleasing. So it's got to
Exactly.
have the logo and something.
I love it. That's what's that?
What?
Success Watch.
Success Squatch.
Look at you go, girl. That is creative.
I mean, just
I can imagine that on a bumper sticker.
Yes.
That's all I have for today.
Wow, that was fun. Okay, yeah, let's talk about
Tammy's very fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes, let's. Cammy, don't erase yet.
Oh, it's been.
Did we take a picture?
Amber got her picture.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Then. We're good.
2 hours.
Perfect.
And Diana. Okay, so for the last couple minutes, I just want to share, we'd like to plan a day-long retreat in the summer where we can continue our discussion and maybe like solidify it. And I'm thinking it would consist of 2 parts. We've got the opportunity to go as a team to create a stained glass of our logo. And we can hang it wherever we would like in this building when it becomes ours. So it always looks so nice with natural light. So I was thinking maybe hanging against that window out in the main way. I don't know. We got to be creative here. So they'll use our logo. The stained glass studio is located in Springville, in North Springville, and he's offered to let us do that, and that he would facilitate that. So I thought maybe in the morning we could do that, and then meet at a different location to continue discussing and maybe solidifying this. So kind of keep that in mind, and I might send out something and have you tell me the date that you will not be available, like you're going out of town or whatever, or having a new baby, maybe that means never.
I'll think about it.
It's coming. But anyway, that's a fun opportunity for us, so be thinking about that. All right, thank you, everyone. Our study session is now adjourned, and the time is 5:26 p.m. All right, good evening. Are we good? Okay. Good evening. We are glad that you are here. The board meeting of the Aspen Peak School District Board of Education will now come to order. The time is 6:01 p.m. and all board members are present except board member Sparty. Our pledge allegiance today will be led by John Boyd, and following the pledge, John will also give our reverence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for this opportunity to give just a short message. I thought it's a good time of year right now, maybe to talk a little bit about my kids' experience with education. I have 7 kids. I've lived in Lehigh near Skyridge High School for 25 years, and my kids have been going to school here for a long time. I have 31-year-old twins, a boy and a girl on the top end, and on the bottom end, I have an 8th grader at Lehigh Junior. And I have a kid graduating from Skyridge next week, and I have a sophomore as well. And so I asked them, I did a little informal poll. I said, tell me a little bit about some of your favorite teachers and why they were good teachers for you. So I wanted to just give you some of this. Hopefully this coincides with big fancy research that you all are privy to. This is just kind of my own little informal poll. My 10th grader said that his 6th grade teacher, he said the classes were separated by competence levels, so it felt like everyone was competing. He gamified knowing the material. If you get the questions right, you move up seats, and the top seats get a prize. You could tell that he really cared about your success. My 8th grader said, coincidentally, I asked them all separately too. She actually said the same teacher, 6th grade teacher, because he made class fun while still teaching really well and helping us understand what we need. And my science teacher also, which is her current in junior high, because he helps understand he helps us understand what you need to understand, and he helps you know stuff easily, and he also makes it fun. So there's going to be a pattern here as I go through some of these. Michael, my 31-year-old, who's staying with me right now for a little bit, he talked about a high school teacher, which he really engaged with him and did a lot of extracurriculars, field trips, things like that, and they started a ping pong program together. And this was a long time ago. He's 31 now. His sister, who I just texted before I came in here, she said, my AP US History and Chinese teacher changed my life. He cared so much about what he was teaching and helping students succeed. He made class interesting and fun. He put his heart and soul into his work, and you could tell. And then my wife, who grew up in Los Angeles, she said that her favorite teacher really engaged with them out of class, and he allowed friends to come into a public area and bring their lunch and talk about the books they were reading. And that was really engaging for them. And then my senior, who's graduating, he said he really likes the teachers. He gave a teacher's name and said that she was able to help him feel like they were on the same level and not condescending. So the pattern here, I think, that I learned from listening to what they were saying is that the teachers that make class engaging and fun and that really care about their teachers enables that student engagement to increase and allows the learning to happen. And just a quick little 20 seconds of my experience with my grandfather, who's passed away quite a few years ago. He was a colonel in the Army, and he was in World War II. And I lived with him various times in my life growing up because my family was a little chaotic. And so he was very strict. And I remember one time even, I tried to push my peas on my fork with my thumb, and he got really mad at me. He said, we need to use the knife for that, and things like that. But he also would spend a lot of time with me, and he cared. I knew that he really cared about me. He would make these intricate targets, and we would go in the backyard, and we would shoot BB guns in the backyard. And he made a little target once, and he put and I don't recommend this, but he put a .22 round in going backwards, and if you shot the bullseye, then it would go off. And it went off once, and the shell came back and hit him in the neck and just kind of did a little surface wound. But later he got busted by grandma. But those are the kind of things that we did together. And then when I joined the Marine Corps, I was lucky enough to get an award for shooting, and I attribute that back to my grandfather helping me to learn how to shoot in the backyard. So I just want to say kudos to the teachers in this district. Amazing teachers. I have had such a wonderful experience with my kids growing up here. And I asked my senior, I said, are there any, did you tell me more about the experience? And he said he couldn't think of any teachers that he had a bad experience with. And so the teachers are doing an amazing job. And what I learned from them today is the more fun and engaging and the ability to do kind of extracurriculars and just engage at a kind of a same level and not kind of a condescending level, it really helps them to learn and to have a good experience. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, John. We appreciate that. We now have up to 30 minutes set aside for public comment. This opportunity is for patrons living or working within the Aspen Peak School District boundary. A sign-up sheet was available prior to this meeting, allowing up to 10 patrons the opportunity to speak. Those living outside of Aspen Peak School District and those who were unable to sign up before all slots were full can submit written comments at www.alpineschools.org/o/aspen-peaks-district/page/board. As you are called up, please introduce yourself by stating your name and city of residence. You will be given up to 3 minutes to speak. Please know that the board will be listening carefully, but is not able to engage in dialogue during this portion of the meeting. They may arrange to communicate with you later. Personnel issues are not appropriate discussion items for an open meeting. If you have a personnel concern, please put your concerns in writing and address it to the Board of Education. First up, we have two speakers together, Lisa MacArthur and Derek Smith.
Derek Smith, resident of Lehigh and educator in American Fork.
Lisa MacArthur, resident of Lehigh and teacher at Skyridge High School.
We just wanted to come tonight together just to let you be aware that we have been elected as the future president of Aspen Peaks chapter of Alpine School District and vice president of the same association. And so I just want to start off by saying thank you for the work you've been doing so far, meeting with the community, meeting with the employees, and with the agenda tonight, with some of these policies you're going to be discussing, this will mean a lot to the educators in the future Aspen Peaks district.
Yes, I just want to say we have such amazing teachers in our district who care about the students here. I had the privilege of teaching Mr. Boyd's children, 2 of them, and to do the things that you are planning to do tonight will send a message to those teachers that they are valued, that they have security, and that this new school district is one who wants to work with them and support them in doing what is best for students. Student learning conditions, right? Teacher working conditions directly impact student learning conditions. So the more that this board can do to support teachers and having healthy working conditions will only improve student learning conditions. So I just wanted to say thank you from my behalf.
Yeah, and we look forward to the next several years as we work together to make this become the best district possible. And I'll just echo what Lisa said. You know, when the employees are getting the support they need, it's the students who benefit the most. And so just please keep that in mind as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We truly appreciate your input. Next up is the approval of minutes for the April 30th and May 7th board meetings. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes for the April 7th and April 30th and May 7th board meetings.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay. We have a motion from Board Member Bonner and a second from Board Member Burrows to approve the minutes from the April 30th and May 7th board meetings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The voting has been unanimous. We will now move to routine business. Dr. Perkins.
Yes, in your board docs, you have a copy of the expenditure detail report and claims, as well as the enrollment report. We would recommend that you approve the routine business.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the expenditure detail report and claims along with the enrollment report?
I move that we approve the expenditure detail report, claims, and enrollment report.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion from Board Member Thieler and a second from Board Member Hart to approve the expenditure detail report and claims along with the enrollment report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The voting has been unanimous. We now have 4 policies which were discussed in our last board meeting on April 30th. As per our plan for policy adoption, proposed policies will be presented for discussion in a board meeting and then voted on in the next board meeting. This process allows for interim input and discussion from the public. Our first policy tonight outlines that procedure. We nicknamed it the policy of all policies, but it's officially called Policies, Regulations, Procedures System, policy number 2231. And we will turn the time over to our policy committee chair, Board Member Brammer.
Thank you so much. So I don't have any changes that were substantive between the last meeting when it was presented as a discussion meeting or a discussion item, but I did want to highlight just a few points of this because we will use some of the tenets of this policy today as we make an amendment. So in this policy of policies, number 2231, it's important to know in section 4.2 that all policies will be subject to periodic review at least every 5 years. And so we want you to know that we'll come back to this and we hope to have continuous feedback that we'd love to be responsive to. And then the relevant part for all constituents in our school district, teachers, students, parents that want to be following along, in section 6, to understand the process that we adopt policies, in 6.1.1, we will always share the policy on our Aspen Peak School Board website at least 24 hours ahead of time. Then we will always present it as a discussion item in a first board meeting, and we'll present the policy, and then it will sit there for 2 weeks so that we can let everybody read through it, talk with their peers about it, send us emails, questions, recommendations, and that gives us 2 weeks to make any adjustments. In 6.1.3, it says amendments to the draft policy at any stage of the proceedings do not require repetition of the sequence unless the committee so directs. And so, for instance, in these early retirement policies we're going to talk about just after this, we did get some good feedback that I think our employees will appreciate to be more inclusive of all three districts. And so we're simply going to amend the draft policy that we presented previously, and then that's how we will adopt it. But we don't have to go back to the process and begin again. And then in 6.1.4, it describes that after 2 weeks, we will present the policies as an action item. So that's what we're doing today. You'll have the full text of the policy, and then we will vote to approve and then put it into our policies formally. So that is mainly the changes and the important parts to know about the policy of policies number 2231.
Thank you so much. Do we have a motion to adopt policy number 2231?
I'll move to adopt policy 2231, policies, regulations, and procedure systems.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Board Member Bonner and a second from Board Member Thieler to adopt policy number 2231, policies, regulations, procedure system. We will now open it up for discussion. Seeing no further discussion, we will vote. All those in favor of adopting policy number 2231, policies, regulations, procedures, system, please say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, say no. Please note that this motion has passed unanimously. The next three policies we are very excited about. These concern early retirement benefits. As a board, we are thrilled to present these policies which demonstrate our commitment to the future employees of Aspen Peak School District. The first one refers to administration, and it is policy number 4752. We will turn the time over to Policy Chair Brammer.
Okay. I just wanted to begin by saying that going off of what Ms. MacArthur said, we wanted to focus on these early retirement policies first so that our employees know that we are committed to honoring these early retirement benefits that everyone has been planning on. And that's so important. And I appreciate that you mentioned that the teachers want to feel valued and secure in our relationship with them and supported. And we wholeheartedly agree with that. And so that's why we wanted to focus on these first, because we do agree that doing what's best for students is supporting our teachers and helping them feel secure. And so with policy number 4752, you know, the actual policy itself as it relates to the early retirement benefits, none of those principles are changed. We just have technical changes throughout this document where we've removed the word Alpine and we've put Aspen Peaks inside of the document in all of those places. In the first time that we talked about this, we also added the phrase and or its predecessor Alpine School District, because we wanted teachers to understand what they had agreed to in Alpine is going to be brought over. And so that all of that language continues. I'm going to close my presentation so we can talk about an amendment that we are adding this time to be more inclusive and to respond to some great feedback that we received to some teachers. But that ends my presentation of policy 4752.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to adopt policy number 4752?
Okay, so I'm going to do that motion, and I'm going to move to adopt policy 4752, the retirement incentive for administrators, with the following change. So we would like everywhere in the policy that it says and or its predecessor Alpine School District, I'd like to replace it with the following language: and or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts, Timpanogos District and Lake Mountain School District.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion from Board Member Bonner and a second from Board Member Burrows to adopt policy number 4752, retirement incentive for administrators, with the stated change. Everywhere it says and or its predecessor Alpine School District will be replaced with the following language: and or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts, Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District. We will now open it up for discussion.
Last board meeting, not last week, 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about this, I've been hearing from a lot of teachers and administrators that are worried because they are in one district and would like to be in another district, but there's been a lot of shuffling happening, but people aren't necessarily quite where they want to be yet. And so they've been a little bit concerned. I know we have people that have looked at taking a position that maybe isn't quite their ideal position, but they'd be in the district they want to be in. And I think as I was looking at this, one of the things that I worried about was I think there's still going to be a little shuffling for the next 2 or 3 years. Like there's just, people are going to be figuring out where they want to be and what title, what position is the right position for them and all of that. And so I got a little bit worried that if someone was in another district temporarily for a year or two, that would derail their ability to have their minimum of 15 current consecutive full-time years. And so I talked to Policy Committee Chair Brammer, That is a mouthful. Okay, last week and 2 weeks ago, and I said, hey, what about this? And she, of course, was immediately receptive. And we started talking about it, and the other board members that were here and board member Knight leaned over and they were like, yeah, we need to fix that. So we have been for a full 2 weeks now planning on changing that so that we could then make that just a little bit more inclusive and hopefully help people feel that they don't need to be quite so panicked about taking whatever they can get in one area or another, that they have a little bit of time here that will be very flexible in meeting people's needs. So that's my reason for this motion.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I'm just going to say that I received an email yesterday from a friend who asked me about this, and I'm not on the policy committee, so I didn't know what was being discussed. So perfect timing to my friend. Hopefully you're watching, and I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this motion.
Perfect.
And I'll just add that I hope that this change shows that we really do want to support the flexibility, and we recognize that we are going to be in a few years of changes, and so we want to support teachers and administrators as well, education support professionals as well, so that they understand that we're supporting them wherever they go, and we recognize that our 3 districts are tied together, and so we honor whatever movement they want for the next several years.
Thank you. So just as a point of clarification, policy number 4752 is the retirement incentive for administrators, and in just a minute we will do for certified personnel, and then after that, education support personnel. So all those in favor of adopting policy number 4752, the retirement incentive for administrators, with the stated change, everywhere it says and or its predecessor Alpine School District will be replaced with the following language: and or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Please note that this motion has passed unanimously. The next policy refers to certified personnel. This is policy number 4253, the retirement incentive for certified educators. We will turn the time over to Board Member Thieler if he wants to explain that one.
Yeah, without belaboring the point, the language is going to be very similar in that we want our employees to know that we value them, they're important, and we want them to have flexibility. Those that spend any amount of time with me will know that one of the things that I think is one of the primary purposes of education is to give people more options. Through education, I will have more options now than I did prior to going through this whatever educational process that I was in, whether that's as an adult learner or as a child. The point is, I now have more options than I used to have. And this early retirement possibility gives an educator more options than they would have otherwise. And that's the entire purpose in my heart for education. It provides more opportunities and more options and recognizes their valuable contribution that they've made. So other than that, the point is we want to honor that kind of expectation that Alpine has set for us, which we wholeheartedly agree with. And we also want to add that additional language of or its sister districts. So those people don't have to feel that sense of anxiety. Because sometimes the time isn't right for us to bring them in, and sometimes the time isn't yet right for them to come either, depending on where they are and what situation they're in and what situation we're in. So we like the opportunity to give a little more flexibility to both them and to us, and still honor their consecutive years of service.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to adopt policy number 4253, retirement incentive for certified educators, with the following change. So everywhere it says and or its predecessor Alpine School District, please replace it with the following language: and or its predecessor wow, having a hard time saying that, and or its predecessor, Alpine School District, or sister districts, Timpanogos School District, or Lake Mountain School District.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Board Member Hart and a second from Board Member Bonner to adopt policy number 4253, the retirement incentive for certified educators, with the following change. Everywhere it says and/or its predecessor Alpine School District, we will replace with the following language: and/or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts, Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District. We will now open it up for discussion.
I just want to put in my voice here as well, just saying I really think this is a good way to recognize and honor the teachers. And I don't know if I can add much more to what we've already said, other than we respect and honor our teachers, and we want them to know that we care for them and want to give them that flexibility for whatever life circumstances they are, knowing that we want them and that they're a part of this, and we want to include them in it.
All right, seeing no further discussion, we will vote. And after I say this so many times, you're probably going to have it memorized. Here's the vote. All those in favor of adopting policy number 4253, the retirement incentive for certified educators, with the following change. Everywhere it says and/or its predecessor Alpine School District will be replaced with the following language: and/or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts, Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Please note that this motion has passed unanimously. Next up is the policy for education support professionals, also known as ESPs. This is policy number 4415, the retirement incentive for education support professionals. We'll turn the time over to Board Member Thieler to tell us a little bit about that.
All right, Board Member Sparty was the primary lead on this one. He's not with us tonight, but again, it's a very similar. There's the only material difference is we're honoring. The only difference is we're adding this kind of supplementary language of the sister districts. When I was a teacher, I saw aides, I saw the support professionals doing various things, but I was so kind of wrapped up in my classroom that I didn't fully appreciate. When I became a principal, I could not do my job properly if I didn't have amazing support professionals that I knew could be at that place, do that job, work with that student, meet that time, that deadline, and those. So as a principal, that's how I was flexible. That's how I could meet flexible needs of a school. The teachers were great and they were awesome, but they were also zoned in like I was as a teacher. This is my primary duty. This is my 95% time here. But those aides, those support professionals were amazing. Always flexible, always kind to the kids. And I just, again, as a principal, I truly gained an appreciation for those people that held the school together. And so we would be derelict if we didn't recognize them with the same level of respect and honor and appreciation, and having this policy be just as enforced for them as it is for any other employee of our school district. They're amazing people. We're grateful for them. And so we felt privileged to be able to provide this same benefit for them.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion?
Yes, I would love to do this one. I move to adopt policy number 4415, retirement incentive for education support professionals, with the following change. Everywhere it says and/or its predecessor, Alpine School District, replace with the following language: and/or its predecessor, Alpine School District, or sister districts, Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District.
Thank you. Do I have a second? We have a motion from Board Member Burrows and a second from Board Member Hart to adopt policy number 4415, the retirement incentive for education support professionals, with the following change. Everywhere it says and/or its predecessor Alpine School District, replace with the following language: and/or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts, Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District. We will now open it up for discussion.
Yeah, I should totally add, because I kind of use the word aides and things like that. There are so many diverse duties that these support professionals do for us, whether that's bus driving, whether that's secretarial, whether that's recess duty, whether that's trackers at like the high school that are just helping with students that are struggling to attend. I mean, they really are. They're just an amazing, just like cascade of people that do so many small things all over the school, all over the district, every day. They're amazing people, and I want to make sure I can't list everybody, but just that, yeah, our nutrition service workers, I mean, they're just amazing people, and we're grateful for them.
All right, seeing no further discussion, we will vote. All those in favor of adopting Policy 4415, the retirement incentive for education support professionals, with the following change. Everywhere it says and/or its predecessor Alpine School District will be replaced with the following language: and/or its predecessor Alpine School District or sister districts, Timpanogos School District or Lake Mountain School District. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Please note that this motion has passed unanimously. Our next action item is Resolution 2026-006, Declaration of Intent to Participate in the BYU Public School Partnership. We'll turn this over to Dr. Perkins.
Thank you very much. We want to bring this up on the screen. We're excited, very excited at this point for the board to consider this resolution. This Alpine School District was one of the original founding members of the BYU Sites Public School Partnership. There are 5 school districts that participate in that partnership, and it is a mutually beneficial arrangement with this institution of higher learning in which their students participate in our schools, and we work with them to provide training and in-service support for new teachers. And then we also work together to provide a wide variety of professional development opportunities for all of our employees in Alpine School District. So this resolution that you see here is a resolution for continued membership and active participation in the BYU Sites Public School Partnership as continuing as one of 3 of the founding member of the partnership. Now these 3 districts will continue to be founding members of that partnership as well.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-006, Declaration of Intent to Participate in the BYU Public School Partnership?
I move to adopt Resolution 2026-006 to continue to authorize and approve continued membership and active participation in the BYU Sites Public School Partnership.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Board Member Brammer and a second from Board Member Bonner to adopt Resolution 2026-006, the Declaration of Intent to Participate in the BYU Public School Partnership. We will now open it up for discussion.
I would love to just share the experience I had a little over a week ago when we learned about the BYU partnership. And I guess some people on my board knew about it and had experience, but as a first-time board member that was learning about it, I was so impressed and so grateful for this BYU public school partnership. You know, as they shared their commitments that they have to public schools and to the education of teachers, I was so impressed with their mission and so impressed to the professionals in education. There is a limited amount of school districts that can participate, and that's so that they can focus on those educators. And so I'm just so grateful that we have the opportunity to be a part of it, and I wholeheartedly support this.
I had the opportunity as an Alpine board member to attend the Sites Associates program. Like, I don't even know how to say that. Anyway, and it was phenomenal. It really was a great experience. And I participated with a couple of other board members and a bunch of administrators and a bunch of teachers. And it was really valuable, I thought. But the thing I think I like the most about the BYU Public School Partnership is all the training opportunities that it provides to our teachers and our support professionals. And it was funny, one of the conferences just a little bit ago was like a literacy conference, and the number of people who told me that they'd attended it and they loved it and they appreciated it was a lot. And I just think I also love the idea of having interns come to our schools. And for those who aren't aware of how that internship program works, when you're getting your teaching degree, most people do student teaching. But you can also, through BYU sites, do this an internship program where you're an intern for a full school year, and you get a smaller salary, but the difference between your salary and the other intern's salary is used to hire a coach, a facilitator they're called, that basically oversees just those interns for the whole school year. And I can't help but think that that's just absolutely invaluable preparation to be a teacher, because you do everything from start the school year to finish of the school year, and that's so different than just coming in and student teaching for just 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is. And so I think that's so valuable, and I love the idea of having the partnership send interns to us and then having us able to hire those interns, knowing that we already know that they fit into the school, we already know how they're going to be, and having that facilitator that first year to really help them work through any issues there are. So I think this is a great idea, and I'm definitely supportive.
I should probably take this moment to say I work at BYU and I am a member of the sites department. And so I wholeheartedly endorse it, but I will recuse myself for the vote just as a matter of propriety. But I can tell you that on this dais right now, there are several members that went through the BYU partnership as interns, and here's another one right here, right? That just benefited from that intense coaching you get as an intern. Every teacher goes through a first year, but when you're an intern, you go through a first year with a coach. And it's just a wonderful program, and so I wholeheartedly support it. And I encourage all my other board members to vote for it, but I will, as a member of the sites faculty, I will recuse myself.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I just want to also throw my support behind it as well. Being a beneficiary of the program, I know we talked about the internship, and I was able to avail myself of that experience, but it also went so much further when it was also going with practicum students and those clinical experiences out in the schools, and then as I've been doing professionally, continuing to have opportunities to go to conferences and academies. So it's not only does it prepare those who are coming, it also prepares those, or continues to develop those who are already working in the field. And so it's a fantastic partnership that I definitely think it's something we should, and I look forward to hopefully keep doing that.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, we will vote. All those in favor of adopting Resolution 2026-006, the declaration of intent to participate in the BYU Public School Partnership, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Please note that this motion has passed unanimously with Board Member Hart recusing himself. Thank you, yeah, with Board Member Thieler recusing himself. Excuse me. You know, we have two Jasons, and it's just really fun. Yeah, we do.
It's a little confusing sometimes.
A little. All right. Next up is our MOU for alternative schools. And I will turn the time over to Dr. Perkins.
Thank you. We are excited this evening to to work through or bring before the board this memorandum of understanding with the Timpanogos School District. This is something we've been working on for some time, trying to prepare and determine our paths forward with the alternative schools. We're excited to have this MOU before you today. This is, in brief summary for all those that are listening, this is a memorandum of understanding between the Timpanogos School District and the Aspen Peak School District, in which we will continue to operate Polaris High School and Summit High School. This memorandum of understanding is for 3 years currently. This will allow both districts to work through what is going to be the best future of the alternative schools in each of our districts. But this also provides a little more certainty for a group of, or several faculties who've been dealing with some uncertainty for some time. So we're excited about this this MOU, and we bring it to you today for your consideration and approval.
Thank you. This was important to us to get this in place before the end of the school year, so those faculties will know that they have a place. Do I have a motion to adopt the Memorandum of Understanding for Alternative Schools?
I move that we adopt the Memorandum of Understanding for Alternative Schools.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion from our Jasons, Board Member Thaler, and a second from Board Member Hart to adopt the Memorandum of Understanding for Alternative Schools. We will now open it up for discussion.
I've talked plenty today.
Hey, me too, but I'm still going to. I've had several of our traditional high school administrators reach out to me concerned about Polaris and Summit. Not necessarily because they work there, because they don't, but because they've seen the significant benefit that these programs are to our students. You know, my kids go to Lone Peak High School. I think we've said that before. I've said that before. And they have graduated. 6 of them have graduated now. I have one more still in high school. And they have all had between 800 and 850 students in their graduating class, which blows my mind because I graduated from PG High and I think we had 400, right? And which seemed like a lot at the time. But as I've talked to parents and I've talked to counselors and I've talked to administrators over the years, I have realized that our traditional high schools are just not quite the right fit for some students. And that's okay. You know, it's okay to say, you know, having 800 kids in my graduating class is just not really working out for me. Like the schedule's not working, or for whatever reason, it's not working for them. And so I am really, really grateful that we have Polaris and we have Summit, and that they are able to provide an opportunity for students that meets their needs in a better way than our traditional high schools do. And so I'm very supportive of Polaris and Summit. And I'm excited that we've come up with this MOU with Timpanogos. They also really wanted to continue the programs for their students. There's a lot of change going on with everybody right now, and it's nice that we're going to be able to say, hey, this isn't going to change for at least the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to keep it the same. We're going to look at it, see if we want to, you know, if we want to make any changes. But for now, we know of the value of these programs and how much they help our students be successful. And so I'm grateful that we're passing this tonight.
I just want to add on. I've known about these alternative high schools for several years. And as some employees started talking about their concerns that we wouldn't be able to fund them because there are some more challenging factors to continue these schools, I just wanted to share that we are deeply committed to supporting these schools. And a few weeks, maybe 2 months ago now, we did a tour of each of these schools. And, you know, our board talks a lot about how moving forward, Aspen Peak School District is committed to educating all students. And the students who attend these schools, you know, are a highlight of that. And when we walked through the halls and we walked into every classroom, you know, my heart just bursts seeing what the teachers are doing to personalize the education for these students. You know, the classrooms are set up differently. The hallways have different motivational sayings on them. The students, as they're there, they respond to the faculty in a different way that I've seen at other schools. And for me, it's a model of what I hope we see everywhere. So I just wanted to share that I'm so grateful for the examples that these schools are in our Aspen Peak School District, and I hope to continue emulating the bright spots that we see at Summit and Polaris elsewhere.
I was going to say the same thing. That is a highlight of these past few months is touring schools, and touring Polaris and Summit was unbelievable. So proud and so impressed with the job that they are doing, and grateful for them. Seeing no further discussion, we will vote. All in favor of adopting the Memorandum of Understanding for Alternative Schools, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. The voting has been unanimous. You guys are awesome. Please do.
Just as a point of clarification, this is a memorandum of understanding between Timpanogos and Aspen Peaks. Tonight, it has been approved by the Aspen Peaks School Board. It's on the agenda for the April 27th board meeting at Timpanogos School District. May 27th, thank you. Wrong month.
Thank you. Yes, this is between our two schools, so thank you for clarifying that. All right, we will now hear board member reports and information items from those who would like to share.
I am going to jump in. I have been in Layton all week since Monday until about 3 hours ago at the state PTA convention. And there were so many Alpine District and Aspen Peaks District parents there. And I am just so grateful for parents and for all the time and energy and effort they put into our schools and trying to make things better. One of the things I love about PTA is it talks about engaging and empowering families to meet the needs of every student. And I'm just so grateful for all the time and energy and effort that these parents put in. It is mind-blowing to me that they're signing up to completely for free do these jobs for 10 years, that are full-time. And anyway, they're great. But we had a couple of really great things happen. Eric Woodhouse came and gave one of our keynote addresses yesterday, and I'm just so grateful we snatched him up because he's awesome. And he did a really, really great job. And thanks also to Business Administrator Tweedy. That's a mouthful too. Boy, we got to figure these titles out. And Superintendent Rob Smith, who came up today to have lunch with all of the parents who were there from Region 8, which is Alpine District. And we had a really great conversation. And one thing I really appreciated was after Superintendent Smith kind of gave, this is where we're at, this is how things are going, we had parents asking questions and saying, what's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? But what I really appreciated, one mom said, what can we do as parents to help facilitate information in a positive way when people are concerned about things and people are worried about things? How can we help with that? And I just was so appreciative of that because I think this whole district split process has been stressful, and the sheer volume of weird rumors that keep going around and all the things, like people will come up to us and be like, I heard, and we're like, what? So I was so appreciative as we had this conversation, and there were probably, I don't know, were there like 50 or 60 people there, probably at least, yeah. And I just was so grateful that we all very much felt like we were on the same team. Like, how are we going to make this work for all of us so that our parents and our kids and our community and our teachers and everybody just feels less worried and less concerned and less stressed out moving forward? And so it was a really great experience, and I'm really grateful for that for the moms and dads and people that are involved with that and that are working so hard to do everything they can to improve our schools. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone.
Well, I can't let this moment pass without mentioning yesterday's dance festival at Dan Peterson. It was an absolute honor to be there and watch each of these students be included to the fullest extent, to watch students in wheelchairs decorated being danced around, and the fun music that they chose, and just the spirit of can do, and letting them experience all of the wonderful parts of being in school. I haven't stopped smiling from being there, and it was amazing. So it was a highlight of my week.
Speaking of educational support professionals, that school is filled with them, and they make that school run, and they love those kids. And it was just a joy to see. They were having as much fun as the kids were. It was fantastic. It was a highlight of my week for sure.
I thought of one more thing really quick. We did have on our schedule a meeting in 2 weeks on May 28th, and that meeting has been canceled. So we have board members that have conflicts. It's Memorial Day week. There's just a lot going on, so we are canceling that meeting. I just want to bring that up here so that hopefully people will. I think it's not on the schedule anymore, but you may have put it on your personal schedule.
All right. As there is no further business, does anyone have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? We have a motion from Board Member Burrows and a second from Board Member Bonner to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The voting has been unanimous, and we are now adjourned at 6:53 p.m. Thank you for coming.